These are the top 5 exercises that you can get more fit and help you jump higher. And we're gonna start right now. When we're talking about jumping, we have to go over proper mechanics. It's unbelievable how few people actually know how to properly jump, meaning they don't know how to do a counter movement. They don't know how to use their arms. They might use their arms like this when they're going to do a jump, as though swinging their arms backwards will help them propel forward. They might even not know how to dip their chest. They might keep their chest really vertical here as they're trying to project themselves forward. So we've got to cover some of those key mechanics. So those key factors is that we have to absorb energy. So if I'm doing a counter movement, and let's pretend I'm going to improve my vertical jump, part of me absorbing that energy and being elastic. Again, later on, you're gonna hear me talk about this as well. Elasticity is key. A lot of people talk about being rigid in the ankle, being rigid in the hip. Elasticity, okay? I think that's a better term that we should all adopt, just like impulse, is that we have to absorb energy, keep it elastic, keep our muscles elastic, and apply as much force in a short period of time to propel ourselves vertically, horizontally, whatever that might be. So here, we're gonna dip, okay? And when we dip here, we wanna see that absorption, that force absorption. And then as we dip, we're gonna come through with our arms, and if we're doing a vertical jump, here, our chest is gonna be a little bit more upright. We're gonna do a nice quarter squat with our knees, with our hips here, and just come here. Nice jump, okay? Dip nice and tight, propel ourselves vertically. Notice my chest is upright on that finish. Now, if I'm going for distance, I wanna take that vertical force, that vertical energy here, I'm gonna dip on that counter movement, and then as I dip, I'm going to keep my chest forward, and my shin angle will change to help me propel forward. So I'm changing my center of mass. If I change my center of mass forward, that means I'm gonna project myself forward. So I'm here, boom, okay? So those are some very key, simple mechanics that you have to understand. Absorb that energy properly, be elastic, use your chest and your arms to help you propel in the direction that you need to go so that you can optimize overall performance. Okay, so the first key exercise here is going to be simple. It's going to be a strength movement, okay? A lot of people, when we're trying to increase our vertical jump, they just want to dive straight into big plyometrics, crazy jumps. They want to do all these crazy looking things that they see on Instagram, but they can't even back squat 300 pounds. And no, I'm not going to be the guy telling you that for you to do plyometrics, you have to back squat double body weight. People used to tell me that back in 2005, 2010 when I was in college. That is not accurate. But we do need to be stronger. We have to have strong quads. We have to have a strong back. We have to have a strong and explosive posterior chain that's gonna help us with that tendon strength. And that's ultimately going to lead to better positions when we plant. It's gonna lead to better positions when we go to take off if we're doing a vertical jump. So that first key exercise is going to be simple. It's gonna be a side, slow step up. I even like to think about if I would have a goblet here, like a little dumbbell. I wanna go nice and slow. Okay, and I want to reach out slightly, and I like to keep this toe up. I want to dorsiflex my down ankle, so I can hold a dumbbell here, come down, okay, and then drive back up. And this is going to really help blow up the quad strength, and it's going to help us have that healthy knee joint, okay? It's also going to light up your quads and your glutes. If we think about jumping, it's hip extension. So if we're training our quads and our glutes together, that's going to help improve our overall hip extension. So here, come down, drive back up quickly, okay? And I wanna push as little as possible from that down leg, about 20%. Here, slow, boom, okay? One more, boom. Now, before we get into the reps and sets, have you ever heard of our brand new app, Peak Strength? Click on the link down below. You can get 7 free days of training for over 35 different sports. Now, into the reps and sets. What I like doing here, 4, 5, 6 sets of 4 to 6 reps. Remember, here, slow, controlled, 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 here, boom, up quickly, okay? And if you notice, by going out to the side, I'm even forcing myself to have a little bit of that dynamic trunk control, and that's gonna help improve my overall functionality, leading to being able to jump off of one leg and 2 legs, which is a key component behind optimal sports performance. Okay, so one of the best ways that you can build tendon strength, and remember, tendon strength is extremely important when we're talking about jumping. It's also important if you're going through everyday life. You want to make sure that your knees are healthy. These 2 exercises are things that you can do anywhere. You don't even need a gym. Just like you don't need a gym, inside of our brand new app, Peak Strength, you can click on the no gym available. So one of the best exercises that we're gonna show you, and I learned this directly from Kevin Simons, two-time CrossFit Games athlete, okay, is actually walking up steps backwards. So we were in Monterrey, Mexico, and we actually spent every single morning going up and down the steps backwards. And what ended up happening is your quads get a big pump. My quads got really pumped. We could do this over and over again. Now, if you don't have access to steps, what I recommend doing is finding a hill, okay? Find a comfortable hill. You can get on there that's 60 meters, 80 meters. Run full speed backwards at a safe pace so where you know you're not gonna fall over. You're gonna get about 30 meters into that trip and your quads are going to be lit up. This is going to lead to tremendous quad strength. And then, I almost fell over. And then what ends up happening is that helps you when you go to make that plant, when you're going to do a jump, and it also helps you burn more calories so that you're a little leaner and you can stay fit for a long period of time. Now, another really, really great exercise. It's pretty fun to do this as well. I think it's one of the best warm-ups if you go easy. As you start to get a little more aggressive, you want to put this later on in your workout, okay? So this is going to be a double leg jump to a single leg landing. Now, listen to this story. This is something I got from Al Vermeil, strength coach for the Chicago Bulls back when they won 6 world titles. And he talked about triple flexion. Flexion in the ankle, the knee, and the hip, and how important that is to deceleration. Okay, so one of the things that as you age, you start to struggle with deceleration. You tend to slip, you tend to fall over, you tend to get tripped up, and you can't brace quick enough. So that's why we like to do this even with our older population and with our athletes. If we're talking about athletes, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go nice and easy, okay? Everybody can do this just to start out nice and easy. You can do double leg bound into a single leg stop, okay? Double leg bound here, single leg stop. You can do that a couple times. And then as you start to get warmed up, you start to get primed. If you're an athlete, you really want to focus on that quick, aggressive landing so that you have that elasticity, okay? You have that quick ability to absorb energy. So we're here, boom, okay? Pause, I want a nice pause there. I'm gonna do that again on my left leg, boom, okay? And what ends up happening is you can start to see with specific athletes which side they favor, okay? So then you wanna do that weak side first. For me, my right leg tends to be my weak side. So when I wanna decelerate, I really wanna focus on that with my right leg. Boom. For this exercise today, you can do 5 sets of 3 jumps on each leg. Now, one of the best ways to lead to having a better vertical jump is by using some sense of accommodating resistance. I like to do that typically as well with a little bit of pre-fatigue. Okay, so a lot of athletes might be tired when they're inside of a game, when they're inside of a wrestling match, when they're about to do something explosive, okay? There's also athletes like swimmers or sprinters that might be coming out of the blocks and they don't really have to be fatigued, but they have to have tension set. And that's where I really, really like this movement. Now, if you're here for general fitness, this is just a phenomenal movement to help you be more athletic, to help you learn how to absorb that energy so that you can age properly and keep that elasticity. And this movement is gonna be involving our Powerlastic HAF band. And what I like to do is actually set this up inside of a rig. Now, if you don't have a rig like this, you can use dumbbells. You can use cinder blocks, okay, or concrete blocks. You can use anything to help you set this up. Just get creative. It doesn't have to be fancy. Now, I like to get into that split position here, okay? And I wanna be here holding split position, holding about a little bit of a quarter squat, okay? I even like to go slightly flexed on my front foot. My heel is just elevated very, very slightly. I also wanna see that back leg, okay, with that back leg flex, the heel up. So I'm gonna hold this for about 10 seconds, and I'm gonna get into a split jump here. Boom, 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 okay? And then we can switch. Hold this for about 10 seconds, and you can even get creative where you go hold, jump, 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 hold, okay? But you wanna feel this position where you got that tension here, and then you're here, boom, 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 okay? Another unique thing that you could do is even hold that position here, right? Boom, 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 and then squeeze through that position in that split. Now, this movement requires a lot of coordination. It can lead to a lot of fatigue. Make sure you're taking that ample rest so that you recover really well and that you can keep that twitchiness firing. This movement is absolutely phenomenal. One, for general fitness, as you can see, I'm out of breath, but also for athletes that play in split position sports. You know, if you're a wrestler, if you're a shot putter, anything along those lines, football player, field hockey players, you're gonna benefit tremendously from this movement. What a great morning for us to get that sunlight on our eyeballs and really start to wake up and give you this next key exercise, which is an awesome movement to help you with that hip extension. It's also gonna help you with that rapid force absorption. Okay, so if we're in athletics, we need to extend our hips all the time. We wanna do vertical jumps. We wanna jump up and block a ball. We wanna jump up and catch a pass. We need to catch a fly ball. We are going to be extending our hips even if we're coming out of the blocks as a sprinter, or if we're taking a counter step as a running back. We will need to hit that hip extension. That's where this movement comes into play. We also have to have good mobility. Okay, so here we're doing a knee jump with that hip extension, really firing those glutes. We're gonna absorb rapidly and then lead to a tuck jump for height. Okay, so this is boom, boom, really, really quickly. For those individuals that are a little bit older and you're just trying to be fit, walk through this nice and easy. Take your time. There's a lot of complicated movements here. There's a lot of complicated moving pieces. So this is gonna be a sweet demonstration. We're gonna start, and again, I wanna have my hips come back, okay? Hips are gonna come back, so the first movement is gonna be a knee jump. I'm here, here, okay? And then we're gonna go into that big jump. So now, I'm gonna go here, boom, okay? Hit, go, hit, go. I'll show you two more. Here, boom, okay, one more. Now, this is a pretty aggressive exercise. I recommend, because you're absorbing a lot of energy, have a rest period of about 2 to 3 minutes. Inside of our app Peak Strength, we actually have rest periods that go 2 minutes all the way down. It walks you through and it helps guide you so you recover really well for that next exercise. After you rest for those 2 minutes, hit 5 sets of 3 total knee jumps into that bound. Okay, another great exercise that you can use for general fitness if you're trying to be healthy, but also it's absolutely phenomenal for athletes, okay? When we're talking about trying to jump higher, getting a bigger vertical jump, trying to be more explosive, it all comes down to how well we can reuse energy. How elastic are you? I'm trying to get away from that word of being rigid. I think the term rigid can just be a little bit too tight where you can't really do anything, but if we can think about the elasticity of a deer or of a kangaroo and just watching them run, that's what we want to think about. That's what we want to be, and that's what we want to be as we age and as a world-class athlete. So if we're going to do this movement, it's going to be a depth drop. Okay, so just get a curb, a bench press, no higher than about 14 inches. This is about 10 to 12 inches right here. This is plenty high enough. The whole goal here is that we want to take vertical energy, transfer it into horizontal movement, okay? Vertical energy, forward. So we're going to do a depth drop into a bound. Now, there's a couple key factors that we want to look at. How does someone ground, okay? What are they doing with their chest? How are they propelling themselves with their chest? How is their chest guiding them with the shin angle and with that movement of their mass? And then what are they doing with that arm cycling? One of the key factors behind a lot of people is they just don't know how to jump. They might arm cycle like this. They might actually arm cycle like that and think that that's gonna help them jump further. So try to really focus on proper arm cycling. So what we wanna see is a depth drop here, and as we're dropping, we wanna drop that chest slightly, swing those arms back, okay? So now I'm gonna demonstrate from a full actual depth drop into a bound. Here, boom, okay? So I like doing 5 or 6 doubles. So you can do, that's 1 rep, this would be another rep. Again, remember, drop, and as we're dropping, we wanna cycle at the same time. We're gonna keep that chest about 45 degrees, not too steep though, it doesn't need to be crazy. One of the big things I learned from Jaime Perez, Olympic bronze medalist who trains here, world champion discus thrower, she's probably the most explosive female I've ever encountered in my entire life. She keeps a nice, simple chest angle and is extremely explosive. Even weighing over 200 pounds, she's still able to move over 3 meters on that double leg bound because of the way she handles those forces when she grounds. So again, one more here. boom, and try and stick that landing. That's gonna be phenomenal. It's fun. It's something you can do with a partner where you go head to head, so it helps with that competitive edge. You can also put a little mini hurdle here. Use that as a guide. You can measure this on a regular basis so you can see how well you're making progress. It's something that's fun to do. It has practical application to life and also has phenomenal application to the athletic realm. Everyone has a different training situation. A lot of people don't have access to gyms, but one of the best things behind vertical jump training, behind jump-based training, behind plyometrics is that in most cases, you don't need a gym. You can go out on the hill, like we mentioned. You can go into work and go backwards up the steps. You can do bounds in your backyard. You can go to the park and hit bounds and do jumps. Anything along those lines. It's fairly simple. That's exactly why we implemented the body weight portion inside of our app, Peak Strength. If you download that today, you can click on the link, head over to peakstrength.app, and you can get 7 free days of training. We hold you accountable with rest periods, with specific weights on the bar, with even technical instructions so that you can learn how to jump properly and hit those different positions to optimize your overall fitness. And if you want more content, you can also check out our other YouTube channel, Peak Strength, where we dive deeper into all these specific topics to help you become more fit and become a better athlete. Because remember, freaks, if you want to become a champion, you've always got to cultivate your power. Peace.